Dear students, in the previous class we discussed the cunning policies of British, mainly the cunning policies of Lord Wellesley. He introduced the policy subsidiary alliance. You know the conditions of subsidiary alliance that we discussed in the previous class. And Second Anglo-Maratha wars. See how the political turmoil and political anarchy witnessed in the Maratha region that helped the British to establish and extend their territory in India. Today we are going to see another battle in the Maratha region which helped to British to lay their strong foundation. I am going to explain now. The Maratha families tried their best to protect their independence and honor. You know that after the Second Anglo-Maratha War, British captured Maratha, means they had control over Maratha region through subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance, you know that already I explained it. Kol kottu pettu tindiddu. I told that Maratha gave the sticks to the British and they were beaten. This happened in the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Then you know that the Maratha Confederacy leaders, you know that Scindias of Gwalior, then Holkars of Indore and Bhosles of Nagpur and Gaikwads of Baroda. They are the leaders of Maratha Confederacy. They were unhappy with the subsidiary alliance. Then the Maratha families tried their best to protect their independence and honor. Even the Peshwa attempted to free himself from the clutches of the East India Company. The Peshwa attacked the British residency in Pune and burnt it down. Who was the Peshwa? Bajirao II. Bajirao II, he burned it down. He burned it down. Down the Maratha residency, British residency at Pune. You know that according to the terms and conditions of subsidiary alliance, British kept their resident in the capital city of Peshwa. Then Appa Saheb of Nagpur, Mallahar Rao of Holkar rebelled against the British. Who? Appa Saheb. Appa Saheb. Appa Saheb of Nagpur. And Malhar Rao, second one, Malhar Rao. Malhar Rao of Holkar family revolted against the British. Why? The British imposed subsidiary alliance over Maratha region. It was the major setback on the part of Maratha. So they rebelled against British and were suppressed. But both were suppressed ruthlessly, mercilessly. Both were means Appa Saheb and Malhar Rao. Finally, Peshwa Bajirao II fought against the British. Where? At Koregaon. At Koregaon. Who fought? Bajirao. He fought. He took dare step. He took dare step against the British. Whatever it comes. He thought like that and he took dare step and fought against British at Koregaon. And Asti. Where? In the Asti region. Later, his army defeated by the British and surrendered to the British. The British abolished the Peshwa post. Actually, Peshwas were the prime ministers in the court of Shivaji. Later, they took the whole administration under their control. Finally, the British abolished removed the post of Peshwa. They installed Pratap Simha, the original descendant of Shivaji. the descendant of Shivaji, as the ruler of Satara. He was the ruler of Satara. He was ruling at Satara. It was a minuscule state. It was a mini state. He was the descendant of Shivaji. And he named as the traditional leader of Maratha. Who? Pratap Simha. Pratap Simha. See the image of Pratap Simha. Pratap Simha was the descendant of Shivaji. He was considered as the leader of Maratha region. He was, means British named him as the traditional leader of Maratha and suppressed the Maratha resistance also. They not only installed Pratap Simha, instead of that, they took control over the entire Maratha region. See how Carnatic region fell into the hands of British, how Hyderabad region fell into the hands of British, how Bengal region, Awadh region, then Bihar and Orissa region fell into the hands of. Now it is the turn of Maratha. See, I explained how the British consumed, swallowed the India brick by brick and bit by bit. This is the strategy they have used to conquer India through their plan. I even told subsidiary alliance, waging war against the native rulers and administering the native regions directly. These three cunning policies followed by Lord Wellesley. See, then doctrine of lapse. The peculiar policies they introduced to swallow this country. At the same time, I want to remember you, my dear children, this is our inability. This is our inability and disunity among the Indians made them to conquer our country. India is not a small country. India is not a minuscule country. But how did they conquer? They misused our disunity. They misused our disintegration. They misused our inability. Even today, I request you, my dear children, we all stand together to conquer anything. In this transitional period, I am requesting you. See, China is haunting. It is trying to grab our country, but our soldiers are very, very strong. They conquered some parts of Ladakh. Today, very soon, our Manasa Sarovara will come to our fold. Because of that only because of our strength, our unity. Unity is always good part of any country's might. Okay, now I am coming to another point, the consolidation of British power. See, this war is called Third Anglo-Maratha War. I always tell the title after the explanation. Even I explained the battle, what the Appa Sahib and Appa Sahib of Nagpur, then Malhar of Holkar dynasty, then Bajirao waged war against British. This is all about Third Anglo-Maratha War. Third Anglo-Maratha War. This is all about Third Anglo-Maratha War. Dear children, now we are moving to the consolidation of British power. Consolidation. How did they consolidate? Consolidation of British power. Consolidation. British power in India. Consolidation of British power in India. The British completed their agenda, ruling the entire India from 1818 to 1857. Their agenda, by ruling 1818 to 1850s. They occupied the major states like Sindh, Awadh and many other smaller states also. Now, the major contender For them, it was none other than Sikh. You know, sir, in the northwest region, where in the northwest region, a prominent dynasties were ruling, that they were Sikhs. Actually, in that movement, a political anarchy, a political instability broke out in the Punjab after the death of King Ranjit Singh in 1839. In 1839, Ranjit Singh died. British misused this political turmoil. British misused the political instability in the Sikh region. Sikh region means, in the previous class I explained it, the Kashmir was also the part of India. Before 1947, Kashmir was an integral part of India. Most of the Lahore and other Punjab region were under the control of Sikh. The Sikh remained independent, but now British challenged the Sikh. They tried to occupy Sikh region. After the death of Ranjit Singh, Ranjit Singh was called as Lion of Punjab. You know that at the age of 12, he ascended the post of the president of Sukar Chakia Misil. At the age of 12. At the age of 12, we were in 7th standard. At the age of 12, he learnt fencing, horse riding. Imagine. After the death of Ranjit Singh, British attempted to invade Punjab, violating the Treaty of Friendship. Violating the Treaty of Punjab, it was concluded, Treaty of Punjab, it was concluded between Ranjit Singh and British. See, according to this treaty, no one should conquer, no one should involve, means here the two parties should not involve in the war. Two parties means Sikh and British. But they violated the Treaty of Friendship they had with the erstwhile king. In December 1845, a war broke out between the British and Punjab. When in 1845, war broke out between the British and Punjab, sensing the danger from the outside force, Hindus, Sikhs, Muslims got together to defeat the British. Finally, they had to accept the defeat due to the few traitor leaders. This battle or war is called First Anglo-Sikh War. Anglo-Sikh War. They signed the humiliating Lahore Treaty. They signed the humiliating, shame, actually it was shameful, humiliating treaty, that is Lahore Agreement. Lahore Agreement. Agreement in 1846. When was war broke out? In 1845. Like this, Punjab became the dependent state of East India Company. Then the Sikh opposed the attempts by the British to the rule of Punjab directly. Then the opposition were led by Chattar Singh Attariwala in Lahore and Mool Raj in Multan. Again the people of Punjab were defeated. Finally Lord Dalhousie merged the state of Punjab with the British Empire. Now we have come to know that Maratha region and Sikh region fell into the hands of British. You know, another cunning policy, it was introduced by Dalhousie. Dalhousie and the doctrine of lapse. Now we are going to see Dalhousie and his cunning policy. And his policy, what was the cunning policy? Dalhousie and the doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse. What a crooked plan this is. See the image of Dalhousie. That fellow conquered, confiscated our land. See the image. This fellow. Dalhousie, who arrived in India as the Governor General in 1848. 1848. He came to India as Governor General. And he made an attempt to integrate Indian princely states with the British Empire. His only aim was to integrate the entire nation under one folder, under the umbrella of British East India Company. Entire nation. He was such a shrewd and ambitious Governor General. Because of that, hence, he adopted a policy that is a doctrine of lapse. Whereby the adopted children of Indian kings were refused for their right to throne. What is this? What is this? See, if the Indian king had no natural heir, he should not adopt the children. If he adopted a children or a son, he has no authority to ascend the throne. See, what a cunning policy introduced by this fellow. Imagine, unscientific, brutal plan he introduced to conquer India. In that way, Indian rulers suffered, children. In that way, Indian rulers suffered. According to this policy, if any Indian ruler died, his adopted children had no legal right over the throne. There was no IVF facility in those days. There was no IVF facility. There is no advanced medical facilities. If they had, they could have gone for that. Okay, simply, this is not, simply I joked that. Okay, but I talked about this cunning policy. Such state merged with the British Empire. Then princely state like Satara, Nagpur, Sambalpur, Jhansi, Jaipur came under his control. Under the pretext of doctrine of lapse. Under the pretext of silly reason, pretext means silly reason. Under the silly reason, he confiscated Satara, Nagpur, Sambalpur, Jaipur and Jhansi. As the Governor General, he knew the conditions of these states. He used this policy as a political weapon. See, without a single bullet, he conquered many states. Without wasting single bullet. Without a single cannon, he conquered Satara, Jhansi, Sambalpur, Udaipur, Jaipur. With this political weapon. With this political policy. With the severe implementation of this policy, not only the princely families, even ordinary people who are sympathetic to these kings and rebelled against the East India Company. Their love for their kings and the sense of loyalty fueled this rebellion. This finally resulted in the Sipahi Mutiny in 1857. This Sipahi Mutiny will be discussed in the next class. Dear children, we have discussed the extension policy of British, how did they conquer, and you know, I told the British fought between the mid 18th century to mid 19th century. They fought 3 Anglo-Maratha wars, 4 Anglo-Mysore wars and 2 Anglo-Sikh wars. 4 Anglo-Mysore wars will be discussed in the next class. I hope you will go through the textbook, go through the video. Along with the video, keep your textbook and don't miss to watch the lesson. Sai Ram.